Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the country. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of over there? Because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They don't read any of the comments. They talk down to us. They think we're just a bunch of clowns on YouTube, Twitter. They say this all the time, but I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and it's turning into something truly, truly special, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of First Things First, where I guess apparently Chase Young has said Purdy is the best QB in the league. That's just one of the dumbest statements I think I've ever heard. And I get you're trying to pump up your quarterback and pump up your player, pump up your team, so to speak, as well. Be a team player, especially because he's, he was traded there. He's new in the locker room. That's just, I just want to hear what they have to say first before I really kind of unpack that more, because that's just, that's like an indefensible position. If you want to say he's playing, some of the best in the league, okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but you want to say that he's the best quarterback in the league? Okay.
Saturday, 7:30 on Fox. San Francisco, almost 10-point favorites. Here's Chase Young on young Brock.
Confident guy. I feel like most confidence guys know how to keep their composure. So I feel like that just comes naturally for him. I feel like, being a quarterback growing up your whole life, it's just your composure gets better, feel me, as you rep out the position. So, I mean, best quarterback in the league, happy he's on my team.
He even smirks because he knows it.
Even I don't think Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the league. I honestly think what Chase, now maybe he's not a stat guy, but I honestly think he knows Purdy led the league in passer rating by 7 points. So I think he's going off that. I don't think Chase Young, as much as I like him, backing up a teammate, thinks Purdy's the best quarterback.
What do you think he's the best quarterback in this game?
No.
I think that remains to be seen.
Okay.
So honestly, I think it remains to be seen. And I'll tell you this: if Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy will have to get some respect put on his name, during this postseason run. What?
You abandoned the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
You said you were 2 toes down.
But I didn't pick a team.
So what are we doing from now until the Super Bowl?
I mean, everybody knows I'm down with Brock.
No, you're not. You're not even willing to say he's the best quarterback in the game.
Yeah.
So you can't have Brock.
No. Have I ever said he's elite?
No, you just said he's MVP. And team
you don't have to be. Boomer Esiason wasn't elite.
Oh my God! If you dare bring up Brian
Rick Gannon was not elite. And don't get me started on Brian Sight. So it happens, all right? But Brock Purdy, we all are still, even me, even as much as I believe in him, we all still are victims
of watching
Mr. Irrelevant. No, watching. He's got the best deep ball percentage in the league. He led the league in passer rating. The dude is legit.
I'm talking about
eye test too. Yeah. He threads windows. He's hit guys right on the money. Like, the dude is legit.
But maybe not better than Jordan Love.
What I'm saying, Jordan Love might be special. I mean, it looks like potentially he could be special. But what I'm saying about is this: Brock Purdy, you're gonna have to start.
So, I actually understand what Brew is saying here, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. The thing is I've been saying that I don't think the 49ers are that special, and I don't think Brock Purdy is as elite as people are trying to make him out to be, which now makes it sound like I'm a Purdy hater. And I'm actually on the record saying that I think Purdy is a pretty good quarterback. I mean, I said that in the beginning of the season, actually, back when I was first making videos, and I was kind of going back and forth with my one friend who I will bring back on here. And so And I said, Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I straight up said that, and I believe that, and that was like maybe before the season even started or within the first couple of weeks. And so, but again, I don't think Purdy is special, right? You watch Jordan Love play and you see special. You look at that and think that his ceiling is higher than Purdy. And again, you saw Chase Young say that he's the best quarterback in the league. And you could tell he was like smirking when he said it, like I know what I'm saying is crazy. Like he didn't believe it. He didn't. I mean, he just didn't. It was just one of those things that I don't know. He probably said it and then regretted it the moment he said it, because he's not watching the games or the film of Brock Purdy. He was doing his own thing on defense with the Commanders originally, and now he's been with the 49ers for 2 minutes, and now all of a sudden he knows all about Brock Purdy. I mean, come on. Get out of here. Seriously. I think you're comfortable and can even be confident with a quarterback like Brock Purdy, even though he obviously has not necessarily proven himself in tight games, especially when coming from behind. But you know that you at least have a chance with Brock Purdy because he's not a spaz. I don't think he's just like the luckiest person ever where he's just had all these games in a row good. I think he's very fortunate to have the team and to have the coach Shanahan with him. I believe that is a real thing, and I don't know how anyone could dispute that, because if having good players matters to that of Patrick Mahomes, then it certainly is going to matter for Brock Purdy. So I just don't think we can so confidently say that, and again, this is why I keep fighting with people in the comments about stats. Someone was trying to really argue to me, again, how, this team is better than this team, or that this, they're clearly good because their defense statistically is better than that, and this, that. Guys, stats are so misleading. That's why we have game film. That's why we have advanced analytics. That's why we have strength of schedule. If some team just so happens to play every single game where 99% of the games they play are against awful teams, that's just the way the schedule unfolded, where none of those teams have, they all have backup quarterbacks or whatever, right? And everyone's all injured and banged up, and none of them are playoff teams. And that team now just demolishes all these other teams, and because of that, their stats show that they have the best offense or the best defense. Does that mean that they actually legitimately have the best offense or the best defense in the league? No, it does not. It does not. It just means that the schedule that they had relative to the other schedules that other teams have had, they were able to get the best stats. That doesn't mean that they are actually the best defense or the best offense. Okay? I know that might seem counterintuitive. To me, it's not. To me, it makes sense to me. It's common sense to me. Okay? Because again, the perfect example of this is, let's not even use Brock Purdy, because a lot of people think that Brock Purdy is just the bee's knees. But a lot of people don't think Tua is. Tua statistically had a better year than Patrick Mahomes on multiple metrics. Does anyone truly believe that Tua Tagovailoa is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes? No one believes that. Outside of Miami Dolphins fans and maybe people from Hawaii or whatever, or Alabama. No one in their sound right and mind believes that. They just don't. So that to me, that is like the perfect proof. Clearly, stats are not everything. Clearly, there's more when evaluating who is better. And you can't say, well, Tua had a better year than Patrick Mahomes. Not necessarily. He just had the luxury. Like, did he actually make better throws than Patrick Mahomes? Did he make better decisions than Patrick Mahomes? Like, no, that's what I'm trying to say. Did Tua have more opportunities to throw the ball to open wide receivers? Did his receivers catch the ball more times? Were they able to run routes that the Chiefs weren't able to run? You have to dissect these things more. But did he actually throw a better ball than Patrick Mahomes? No, he did not. So he is not a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. So again, when people just try to want to point to the stats as the end all be all, guys, if stats were the end all be all, it would be the number one team in the AFC would play the number one team in the NFC year after year in the Super Bowl. It would be the 1 and 2 team in the AFC Championship, 1 and 2 team in the NFC Championship. every single year. And that's not what happened. The Cowboys would have demolished the Packers. That's not what happened. The Eagles would have demolished Tampa Bay. That's not what happened. Okay? That's just not the way it works. And when we know this, these are illusions. Stats are so frequently illusions because they're not the same. When you compare a 17-game schedule between two teams where they played completely different teams at completely different times, you can't compare. It's actually not good data. If it was anything else but sports, like if it was medical research or other scientific research, you wouldn't even be able to compare that data because you would say, well, look at this 17-game sample and look at this 17-game sample. And any good researcher in their right mind would be like, yeah, but they played completely different teams than this other team. And actually, when they both played this team, all these other players weren't playing. And when they played this over here, like they didn't have their starting quarterback. Like that's not good data. It's poor data. And actually, it's good for us as fans because that's what makes this all so unpredictable then. Because if it was all good, equal data, then you would pretty much with certainty be able to know who's going to win. It would be very easy, and everybody would be millionaire, billionaire gamblers, and they're not, okay? You would be able to just nail it every time, and you can't. But in other aspects of science and medicine and health and stuff like that and other research, we know with certainty a lot of things that are going to happen, right? We know if we roll a die that has 6 sides, okay? We know that if we roll this die 10 billion times, we know what the percentages are going to be of each one. We can highly predict what's going to happen in that circumstance. You can't with sports. So again, these stats are so misleading. If there's one thing you guys take away from listening to me and following me and subscribing, hopefully, is that stats are not the end all be all. And stats, again, within sports, it's actually poor data in a lot of ways, especially when you're talking about comparing teams to other teams when they're playing completely different schedules and they're playing teams at different times. Football, sports, is just teams in general, but football especially, teams are so different throughout the season. Everything is so dynamic and breathing. You have new coordinators, new plays, new designs, new everything. Everything is constantly changing. It's a breathing entity in a lot of ways. So to say that Brock Purdy is the best quarterback is just an inaccurate statement. Okay? Do you want to say that he's a good quarterback? Fine. Do you want to say he's a great quarterback? Fine. But you want to tell me that he's the best quarterback? So Chase Young, if that's truly what you believe, you're telling me that if you had the number 1 overall pick and we could just draft anyone right now, you really want to look us all dead in the eyes and say you are going to select Brock Purdy number 1 and not Patrick Mahomes, not Joe Burrow? Get out of here. That's just such nonsense, and he knows it. But what do you all think? Would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this one. Do you think Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the league? Who do you think is the actual best quarterback in the league? What do you think about my whole rant about the stats and the reality of that? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below, and please do not forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.